Is the federal government really selling your student loans to private lenders? You know, I don't report on rumors and gossip, but I've gotten too many messages asking about this to let it go. So let's talk about it. And if you've got student loans or know someone who does, give me a follow and tell me what you'd like to know about student loans in the comments. So, what's the story? Reports say that the Trump administration is considering selling parts of the federal government's $1.6 trillion student loan portfolio to outside investors. The government says that this would reduce its role in student lending and shift responsibility to the private market. But before you panic, nothing has actually happened yet, and there's no time frame for it. Just like the proposal to move your federal student loans to the Small Business Administration hasn't happened yet, there's no indication that it ever will. So here's what you do need to know. The government is thinking about selling the high-performing loans only. Those are the ones that are being paid on time. Presumably, these are easier to sell because they're generating the most revenue. But there's a big catch. Federal law only allows the government to sell these loans if it isn't going to cost the taxpayers any money. So the Department of Education would need to hire an outside firm to value the loans, and only after that happens would they be able to set a price and line up buyers. And that's going to take a long time because it's incredibly difficult to put a value on loans that may be decades old. Because unlike other debts, federal student loans come with a variety of repayment and forgiveness options. Also, federal student loans are given without a credit check or an inquiry into the borrower's ability to repay the loan. In fact, most of those loans are given to students who have no credit history and no significant employment track record. Someone who takes out a $20,000 federal student loan for the first year of college could end up repaying very little due to low income, disability, or death. Someone with the same loan may make millions of dollars right out of the gate and pay in full pretty quickly. But let's say they put this plan in motion, and let's say that the loans are sold. What would it mean for you? One thing's for sure, your balance and your interest rate are not going to change. Those are in the promissory note you signed. Borrower protections like income-driven repayment, public service loan forgiveness, and other discharge programs would still exist because they're mandated by law, but they could be harder to access because you're going to have a disconnect between the federal government that administers those programs and the private entities that own the loan. And there are other questions as well. For example, the statute of limitations. Federal loans don't have one, but private loans do. Also, the government can collect defaulted federal student loans using administrative wage garnishments, tax refund offsets, and they can take part of your Social Security. Private loans can't do any of those things. Would selling federal student loans extend those protections to the new owners? Could they even legally do that? Nobody knows. So ultimately, again, don't panic. Nothing is changing today, and there's no indication that this sale will ever actually happen. If you want help with your federal student loans, your private student loans, or any other debt whatsoever, as always, get in touch. You know where to find me.